So, good morning. This is March 27, Monday 2023, and we have called Atiti to Medhavi. Is Atiti somebody in this class? We have called Medhavi Raj Bhandari, and she will tell us what we did in yesterday's class. Yes, Medhavi, go on. How will I go?
So yesterday we talked about philosophy. In philosophy,
I talked about philosophy. Yes, go on.
so as we told, philosophy is also known as law of wisdom. So basically, philosophy is law of wisdom. So in other sense, it is a way of thinking about a certain subjects such as ethics, thought, existence, time, meaning, and value. The way of thinking involves four rupees: responsiveness, reflection, reason, and re-evaluation. The aim is to deepen understanding. The hope is that by doing philosophy, we learn, think better, to act more wisely, and thereby help to improve the quality of all our lives.
What else we did? That's the definition of philosophy. Fine. Could you tell what other activities we did? What other topics?
Plato.
We read about Plato. What things do you read about Plato?
He's the student of Socrates, and his student is Aristotle.
Okay. Any other concepts we talked about? Remember the slides? What other ideas we discussed? Thank you. It's all right. It's all right. We don't have to remember everything. I'm just checking how carefully you read, how carefully you record, how carefully you are about what is going on in the class, right? The day you tell very well, I'm happy. The day you can't tell pretty well, I think I didn't teach you well. Right? No problem. Okay. I wish the microphone works. Okay. Can someone remind me the last slide we discussed in yesterday's class? Yeah, we gave a funny example, right? Thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. Where is that slide? Okay. Let me talk about the dialectic method. It is said that Socrates used the dialectic method. Dia means two, right? So in dialectic method, two people try to understand something using question answer method. What method? Question answer. So these dialogues we are going to read, they use dialectic method. There is a teacher and there is a student, and mostly the teacher will ask questions to the student, and the student might show agreement by nodding or disagreement by shaking the head, or the student might put a question, or the student might say something briefly. But you will see that it is the teacher in the dialogue who often says the important things, because it is the teacher's role in the dialogue to clarify the confusion in the student, right? That's dialectic method. I will explain it, but you read at home yourself. Then yes.
So then what is
Socratic
Socratic method?
method we call the method that Socrates used to teach young people philosophy in Athens. As a philosopher, Socrates would go from place to place in ancient Greece, Athens. He would call young people to come to him to study philosophy. They would gather in a place around him, and he would teach them philosophy. How would he teach? He would teach them philosophy through dialogue, conversation. And in this conversation, mostly the students will have a topic of ignorance or confusion, and there will be something confusing, and the teacher will clarify their ignorance, clarify their confusion through question and answer. This method used by Socrates is known as the Socratic method. It is also known as the dialectic method. Okay, what is Plato's philosophical idealism? Simply put, the argument that ideas are real, sensory perceptions are unreal. For example, if I move towards the board, somebody should help with the camera. If I'm in focus, it's all right. If I'm in focus, it's all right. If not, make sure I'm in focus. So, the question is, what is reality? Right? Suppose you ask me, what is a woman Divakar song? You ask me. And to make you understand what a woman is, I do this thing. So what I did, I drew an image of a supposedly female figure. Now the question comes, how could I draw this image? I could draw this image because I have an idea of how a woman might look in my mind. I have the idea. If I did not have any idea of what a woman might look like, I won't be able to draw it. So if I don't have the idea of something, I don't know it. So let me try. I used to come. We'll try to come. Hold this pen and draw a picture of something I'll tell you. Okay, ready? So draw the picture of gland. I told you. Draw a picture of gland. Draw a picture of gland. G-L-A-R-D. Look, he has difficulty because he has no idea of what is a gland. Actually, there is no word like a gland. I just invented to make you realize that you cannot understand something if you don't have the idea of it. Right? Thank you. I'll just give you a demo that you cannot understand unless you have the idea. You must have the idea of something. For example, a newborn baby starts having the idea of the mother on day 3. She is breastfeeding the baby, and the baby starts recognizing. And soon, the first word the baby makes is mama, 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 because he hears the word. And it takes the baby 90 days to have the idea of the father. The baby knows the father figure in 90 days, knows the mother figure in 3 days. How? By observing. Right? So the point I'm making is, we always first have the idea of the things, and we imitate that idea over there. I drew this picture because I imitated. This was the face of the girl with whom I fell in love for the first time in class 7. She had this fringed hair, and she had this kind of face. So the face never goes away because I fell in love in class 7 with her. Right? Look, I have the idea. I have her idea in my mind even when I am 55. The idea will last. The idea that she was my love will last till I die. The idea will never die. She might die, I might die, the body might die, but the idea will never die. So for Plato, the body is not real. The idea of the body is real. I told you yesterday how I have this petal, rose petal at home in my algebra book, which somebody gave me 38 years before. And it is dried today, pink and brownish, but it is there. It has no smell. It is no color. But the idea that somebody had given me a rose petal at 4 o'clock on an evening in the college compound is still with me. And her face is with me. The idea. So for Plato, what is real? The idea is, okay, let's do one experience. Let's draw a circle. Okay. So to draw a circle, I must have the idea of circle. So here I draw a circle for you. Fine?
Yes, sir.
No, that's not a circle. You said that's not a circle. Okay. Mona Lisa, come. Come. Because she's feeling sleepy, I'm calling her. Come. She has to wake up, she has to walk down the aisle and come with. She's tired today, she's feeling sleepy. So, Mona Lisa, draw a circle here. Remain out of the focus. Don't keep it in the focus. Okay. So, do you think this is a perfect circle? Do you think this is a perfect circle? No. Actually, you can never draw a perfect circle on the surface. The perfect circle is always in the idea only. Because somebody might come in this class and draw a circle which you will say, sir, that one is better than this one, he will say. A third girl can come and draw a better circle and he will say, Divakar sir, the previous two are not perfect, the third one is perfect. And it will go on. Because what is perfect? Only the idea is perfect. Only the idea. You know, sometimes you fall in love with an ugly guy. People say he's ugly. People say, people might say, but he will say, perfect sir. Hero, hero, he will say, for you, that gentleman you fall in love becomes a perfect face, right? But for other people, that's not perfect. Please, why that gentleman becomes perfect? Because you don't go after the body, you go after the soul of the person. So the idea of the guy is perfect. So perfection is never concrete. It is always an idea. And Plato would say, if you ask Plato, what is truth? He would say, it's an idea. Truth is an idea. You eat rice pudding. It tastes sweet. So you have the idea of sweet. Right? The rice pudding is physical example in the plate. That sense of sweetness is the metaphysical example. Metaphysical, the idea of sweetness. And ideas are universal. Love is universal. Shakespeare, 400 years before, in England, Sar Samudra Pari wrote a poem about love. You know, so you write a poem about love. It's everywhere the same. It's universal, it's eternal. It's eternal means since history the idea is same, unchanging. It's universal means it is same around the world. Ambition. All human beings everywhere this ambition, desire to achieve something. Right? Okay. Idealism. The defect with me is that I talk a lot and then I don't care about the time. Okay. Thank God, working my camera person. Good. Thank you so much. And please, somebody, whenever I'm in the class, use my take care of my camera and make sure I'm in focus. Okay. So, you know, because Plato was an idealist, he imagined an ideal society, a perfect society. What is a perfect society? A society where there is perfect goodness and where there is perfect justice. A society is perfect when there's two things. There is perfect goodness. Everybody is perfectly good. How good? Perfectly good. And there is no injustice. There is perfect justice. But you can never have such a society in truth. So Plato laid down his plan about how to create such a society. And he wrote a book. He named his book as The Republic. A republic is a country run by people. A republic is a country run by people, the citizens. Like Nepal is a republic. It is not run by the kings anymore. It is run by the power of the people. So Plato wrote the Republic in 10 volumes. This Republic book was written as a dialogue. The form is dialogue. There is a teacher and there is a student and they talk. And I don't know, I haven't read the whole books, but this book talks about almost every aspect of society. For example, it talks about how to educate women. It talks about how to educate men. It talks about how to educate children. It lays down plan to create a perfect society. And while discussing perfect society, at one point, Plato discusses politics, rulers, kings. He talks about what kind of kings we should have, what kind of rulers we should have. In that context, Plato begins by talking about what is reality or what is truth. And the conclusion he draws is that this world is not true. This world is not true. What will happen? Who thinks that this world is not true? A philosopher thinks that this material world is not true. Why is this material world not true? Because this material world is created by senses. By senses. And there is a reality that is beyond sensory perception. That is beyond sensory perception. Right? Okay, let me move ahead. Okay, I won't discuss this one, not relevant here. Allegory, or not relevant here. What is an allegory? Allegory simply is a story that has a moral lesson for the readers. A story that teaches you good lesson of life. That's an allegory. Okay, the context of Plato's allegory. Let's read the slide and then talk. Plato's Allegory of the Cave is a famous philosophical story that appears in his work, The Republic, written around 375 BCE. It is part of a dialogue between Socrates and Plato's brother, who discuss various aspects of an ideal society. So in this Allegory of the Cave, they discuss what is ideal society, what is ideal education, right? How should we educate people? The allegory uses the metaphor of prisoners chained in the dark. Look, Plato says that he would like to explain the figure. In a while, I'll show you. Let me read it. Chained in a dark cave, who only see the shadows projected on a wall by a fire behind them, they mistake these shadows for reality and do not realize that there is a higher and more real world outside the cave that can only be accessed by reason. The allegory illustrates Plato's theory of forms, which holds that there are abstract and eternal realities beyond the physical world that are the source of truth And goodness, the allegory also explores the themes such as perception, knowledge, ignorance, enlightenment. Now, I'll play a drama for you. It might last 5 minutes. It will explain yourself this diagram. So I need a volunteer. I need someone to come here and sit here. Any student. Any student, please come. One of you. One of you come quickly. Quickly. Just you will do nothing. You just sit here. You have no job. You will just sit here. You have no other job. You will just sit here. Hello. Hello. I need a prisoner to play the role of prisoner. Who will play the role of prisoner? A prisoner in the jail doing nothing. Oh. यहाँ किन आउने आरामले बसेको छ किन यहाँ टेन्सन छिटो आउनु ढिला भयो भने एकजना जहिले राजे मात्रै आउनु पर्ने राजेले त्यो के खाइदिएको छ So let's say this is a cave. This is cave, right? पर्दा त्यो बन्द गर्दा पछाडि अलि अँध्यारो बनाउनु पर्छ अलि अँध्यारो बनाउनु लेट्स मेक इट डार्क ओके दिस इज अ केव and we all are prisoners in this cave. Somebody has kept us in this cave as a prisoner. We don't know who did it. And what the person has done, he has made us sit down and he had tied our neck with the knees. So our necks are tightly tied to our knees, so we cannot bend our necks backward. So assume that none of us can look back. None of us can look back. Now, in the same case, caves are geological formations. And if you go in a real cave, you will see you have to climb down, right? It's a formation, geological formation. At a certain height, there is fire burning. What is burning? Fire. And between the prisoners and the fire, there is a wall. What is there? Wall. Let me quickly draw and then I'll come back there. Here is the wall of the cave. This is the cave. Prisoners are sitting here. And here is a wall. There is a wall. And here is fire. There is fire. And now on this wall, there is a road. There is a path, road. And now I'll play the drama. And do not laugh. Have patience. Try to understand what I'm doing. Okay? Just understand. And if possible, film me. If possible. I'll do crazy things. Now, this is the road, right? This is the road, okay? And people are walking down this road. I didn't know. And these people walking down this road, they are carrying various objects on their head, right? So, as they walk down the road, they might be dancing, as well, we don't know. Their shadows, no, you can't turn back. This one is cheating prisoner, right? We told you, your neck is tight, you can't turn back. So this prisoner looks on the wall and wonders what these moving shadows are. And he sees that, this man is carrying a water bottle. Oh, now we have another gentleman is carrying this writing pen. Then we have another gentleman is carrying a handbag. Then we have another gentleman carrying a tea cup. And he also hears these people talking. These people are talking. Hi, hello, how are you? And he hears. And what happens? Listen. He starts thinking that, he starts thinking that these shadows which are moving on the wall, and he combines these shadows with the echoing sound, and he concludes that this is reality. This is reality. And he concludes that these are real people talking over there, right? And assumes that they are like us. But we, let's imagine we are the outsider people. Now we, as we watch these guys and this scene, as we're watching, we understand that this gentleman is wrong. Now we know that here is an object. We know that there is a fire. We know that this fire is causing light. We know that this light coming from the fire is casting a shadow. We know that that is a shadow. We know that this is the object. We know that this is the cause, that is the effect. This is the cause, that is the effect. And that is another cause. That is another cause. Now, this is, centuries before Plato had the idea of modern theatre. Do you realize? Cinema hall. Behind you have a small window, light comes, the reel moves, and pictures are there, and the same picture methods. Plato had the concept of cinema hall centuries back. And now, Plato says that, just imagine that this cave is our world. This cave is our world. The prisoners are us. Prisoners are us. The shadows are our reality. The shadows are our reality. We falsely think that the shadows are real. But we need to understand that the shadows are just a reflection of this object. Right? Now what happens? Now look, something more funny will happen. Now imagine I too was a prisoner earlier. I am playing this because he doesn't know the rule what to do. Now one of the prisoners opens his chain somehow, and out of curiosity he starts walking toward the door of the cave. The prisoner, out of curiosity, walks toward the door of the cave, and the door is open. Now as he comes to the door, what happens? He was in darkness. He was in darkness. He came to light. So at first his eyes have problem. Because when you move suddenly into light from darkness, you cannot see for a while. So he is perplexed. His vision is perplexed. There are still boxes, helmet, ceiling, tube light. There are trees, the other class, people you see. God, didn't know. I have shadows. And there is the sun. And my shadow is caused by the sun. Moon is there. Stars are there. I come by the pond swimming pool. That's my shadow. That's my reflection in the water. Now I understand that all these things have been caused by the sun. By the sun. Everything here has been caused by the sun. With this understanding, I return back to my cave. Now, as I come back, I have become sort of a philosopher. I have become sort of a... Because before I went out, I thought this is reality. Now I know that reality is beyond this cave outside. Up in the sky, the sun. All the shadows are gone. Now I know. Oh, there's a fire. Now I know. And the shadows they saw earlier, they were caused by the... Now I know. They were objects moving. Now I know. The objects were the cause, shadows were the effect. Now I have better understanding of what the truth is. So what I do? I come to my friends and say, dear friends, please understand, these are not realities. Reality is outside. And I try to convince you that this is false, right? Then what do? You talk among yourselves. You talk among yourselves, right? And you say, hey, look this guy, this gentleman. He went outside, and because he went into the light, he has lost his vision. Now he comes back, becomes very smart, tries to teach us what is reality, and says that this is false. Because we believe this is true. We prisoners believe this is true. And we are not ready to change our views. We are not ready to change our views because for ages we have believed that this is true. And then you say, okay, Divakar, you say you went outside and you saw the truth and you have the good perception. Then, if you have better vision, count these shadows and tell which shadow is first, which shadow is second. Now what is happening? Because I was in light outside for some time, I came in the darkness again. I came from light into darkness. My vision is slightly troubled. So I can't see clearly. And you tell me, count. You were in the darkness. So your vision is better than mine. Because I came from light into darkness. You were already there. So you can better count the shadows than me. Then I make a mistake. I make a mistake. Because of light and darkness effect. Then you say, ah, look, didn't I tell? This guy is wrong. This guy is false. Kill him. And you try to punish me. Whereas the truth is, I am enlightened. I am learned. I have the real knowledge. I am trying to educate you. But you are not willing to change. This is what happens in this world. This is what happens in this. And this is the story of the allegory of the cave. Now, in this allegory, there is what do you call the device when you compare two things? Analogy. Analogy. This story, this allegory is just analogy. Analogy is a comparison between two things. Comparison between two things. For example, what are the two things compared here? The cave is compared to the world. Prisoners are compared to the people living in this world. The sun is ultimate reality, being, B-E-I-N-G. There are two words. There are two words to pay attention to. One word is the world of becoming. The world of becoming and the world of being. If you draw a line, this is the world of becoming, and this is the world of being. B-I-N-G, being. The world of being means being is beyond the senses, suprasensory, beyond five senses. Becoming is within the range of senses. What you know through senses, five senses, that is the world of becoming. What you know by reasoning, intelligence, wisdom, that is the world of being. And Plato says that the world of being is real. The world of becoming is a copy of the real. For example, earlier, the shadows are the world of becoming. Thank you, Rajiv. The shadows are the world of becoming. The sun is the world of being. Because the sun causes the shadow. Light. The sun causes the shadow. Here in the cave, the fire is causing the shadow. Inside the cave, what is causing the shadow? The fire. The shadows are caused by the fire. But because we don't know the cause, we falsely think that the shadows are real. Because we don't know the object and the cause. But as we go out, when the person climbs up the cave door, this symbolizes the process of learning. The gentle man climbing up these steps symbolizes the process of education and learning. When you get educated, you understand the reality. When you go outside, that's being enlightened, studying philosophy. When he sees the sun, world, when he has the understanding that the ultimate truth is with the sun, then he becomes a philosopher. Now, once you understand that this is unreal, the world is unreal, what will happen? You will not have any desire for material possessions in this world. You won't be corrupt. You won't bribe. You won't loot. You won't misuse office and power. Today our politicians, have you heard in paper? We every day hear that our politicians are corrupt and they take all the money. Why? Because they believe that money is everything, gold is everything, diamond is everything. But as a philosopher, if you believe that this world and the material possessions of the world are false, the real world is the divine world, spiritual world, ideal world, then you will be honest. You won't cheat. And if a person who believes that this world is unreal and therefore has no greed for material possessions, if such a person becomes politician, then they will rule the society better way. And then if our politicians are philosophers, if our politicians are philosophers, it means if our politicians believe that this world is false, they won't be greedy, they won't misuse power, they won't be corrupt, they won't loot, they won't cheat. Do you get my point? Then if a country is ruled by such people, such a country will be a perfect country. This is Plato's plan to create an ideal society. So we did this drama to explain this slide, the context of Allegory. Let's move on quickly. Okay, the theme. So I told you, the theme, let's just again focus on it. From paragraph 1 to paragraph 35, the dialogue develops the idea of the allegory of the cave. Let's read it. Let's read it. The theme of Plato's allegory of the cave is that human beings are ignorant, as you saw Rajiv was there, of the true nature of reality, the sun, the fire, and rely on their senses. Rajiv looked his eyes and said this is real, and opinions instead of rational thinking. Look, let me draw a line here. Write opinion here and write rational thinking here. Write objects, write shadows. Okay. Plato uses the metaphor of prisoners chained in a dark cave who only see shadows projected on a wall by a fire behind them. They mistake these shadows for reality. As we saw earlier, Rajiv thought the shadows are real. And do not realize that there is a higher and more real world. See the word. Now this higher and more real world, this one. Metaphysical world. Right? And this one is physical world. Okay. Outside the cave, as I went out the cave and saw, only by escaping the cave, means escaping the world. The cave can stand for the world, the cave can also stand for the senses. If you cannot go beyond the senses, you can't know the reality. Just as the guy went outside the cave, then he knew the truth. Okay? And seeing the sun, can they gain the true knowledge and understanding? What is true knowledge? Idea is the true knowledge. What is true knowledge? Idea. Plato's allegory illustrates his theory of forms. Means the form is true. Earlier I said the rose flower that she gave me 38 years before has faded away. But the form of her affection is with me. Right? Form means when you draw this circle, look my circle, like look like an egg. This is not perfect form. But in our mind, we have the perfect form of the circle. Forms are only mental. Forms are mental. They are in our mind. Forms are always in the form of idea. In the form of idea. Right? Okay. Then which holds that there are ideal and eternal realities. This is the word. Beyond the physical world. Look here. This is physical. And this is ideal, eternal. And this is transitory. If something is transitory, it fades away quickly, right? Okay. Now, you can know this ideal, eternal only through reasoning. Only through reasoning. And intellect, wisdom, you cannot know them through senses. If senses could help, you can do an experiment. You bring a glass of water, fill it with water, glass, lead glass I mean, shisha I mean, and dip pencil, and you will see that the part inside the water and the part outside the water, they don't look straight. It looks crooked. Have you seen?
Yes.
This is a proof that our eyes are easily deceived. Our vision is easily deceived. Otherwise, the straight pencil dip in water, the portion in the water looks bent. Have you seen this thing?
Yes.
This is an example to show that we can't rely on our senses. Right? Okay, move ahead. Yes, this is important, but let's read it. Plato's concept of the philosopher king is that the ideal ruler of a just state should be a person who has both political skill and philosophical knowledge. And by philosophical knowledge means believing that this world is useless, we should not be greedy about material possessions. Plato argued that only a philosopher can have access to the forms of goodness. Only a person who thinks that this world is false can know the ultimate reality, ultimate goodness, ultimate justice. And a society will be perfect if there is goodness and justice. Two things. What? Goodness and justice. What did I say? Goodness and justice. Perfect goodness, perfect justice. Okay. And justice, which are the ultimate principles of reality and morality. Therefore, only a philosopher can govern wisely and fairly for the benefit of all citizens. Plato also described the qualities and education that a philosopher king should have, such as truthfulness, temperance. Temperance is not being greedy with desires. Like young people might have desire for sex, and they may visit a brothel, end up with prostitution. They get corrupted. Why people take money? Because they have this greed. They have this greed. Temperance means controlling your desire. Controlling your desire. Courage and love. If a ruler has these qualities, if a ruler has wisdom, if a ruler has courage, if a ruler has temperance, truthfulness, if a ruler thinks that he should believe in goodness and justice, if a ruler believes that he should rule wisely and fairly, if a ruler believes that this world is false, such a ruler will be a better. Then, okay, now we start the dialogue. I won't read quickly. I'll just show you what does nature mean. This important term. According to Plato's philosophy, nature refers to the essence of reality of things. Look, the nature of water is it weighs your hand. Sorry, this is nature of water, right? Nature of this thing is it causes pain. It causes pain. Every object has a nature. What is nature? Its feature, its character, okay, which can only be known by reason and not by sense. You cannot understand the true nature of things by senses. You can understand only by reason. Okay. Nature is also the source of order and harmony in the world, which is governed by rational principles of forms. Have you seen nature? Everything in nature is very designed with the principle, design. Okay, understand? बालुवामा बस्ने सर्पको रङ बालुवाको हुन्छ, क्यामोफ्लेज. जङ्गलमा बस्ने सर्प हरियो हुन्छ क्यामोफ्लेज माछाको सानो फिन हुन्छ पौडी खेल्नलाई यहाँ जुगा पलाउँछ किन धुलो बस्छ भनेर लजिक हेर्नुहोस् त हेभ यु सिन एभ्री डिजाइन इज लजिकल इट हेज अ पर्पज इट हेज अ पर्पज एउटा यसै छ पढ्नु कहिले राइट इट बिर्सेन बहुत ब्युटिफुल छ कहिले पढ्नु वाट इज देयर इन अ जू अथर बिर्सेन what is there in a zoo. There the writer talks about animals and she tells what scientists can learn from those animals. Okay, it means that he wants to illustrate how much we are able to grasp the true nature of things or how much we are deceived by appearance and opinion. So he says that, look, question is how we can know true nature of things. And he says, we can know true nature of things only by reason. Only by reason. We cannot know true nature of things by senses. अघि मैले एकदम पानीमा सिसा या पेन्सिल हाल्नुहोस् बाङ्गो देखिन्छ सेन्सले डिसिभ गऱ्यो नि त ब्याक्टेरिया छ अस्ति एउटा भिडियो हेरेँ फेसबुकमा पाकेको केरा छ टक्कै टुक्रा काट्यो माइक्रोस्कोपमा हाल्यो बिस्तारै फोकस गरेर त सानो सानो किरा हुँदो रहेछ त्यो किरा त्यस्तो केरा त मैले कति खाएँ कोही त बान्ता बाँच्नु थाल्यो कि सम्झेर ला कति किरा खाएछ आँखाले देख्दैन नि किरा तर किरा हुँदो रहेछ नि त भाइरस लाग्छ नि बिमारी डेङ्गु लाग्छ नि आँखाले देखा हुन्छ हुँदो रहेछ नि त सेन्सले डेङ्गु देख्छ सेन्सले कोभिड देख्छ तर हुँदो रहेछ नि त राइट देयर आर लट अफ थिङ्स which our senses cannot see. For that we have to use reason. Okay, then we're stopping here. Now, sorry, yes, what I will do, I won't teach this lesson anymore. Tomorrow I will move on to second chapter, Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. I will mail you the soft copy by this afternoon or evening when I reach home. I might also mail you multiple choice questions to do at home. Homework is I have already mailed you a doc file for chapter 1. There are paragraphs with questions. Color the right option with green. Rename the file with the name. And mail it back. And I will save it in my folder. Every correct answer brings 1 mark for you as internal test. Chapter 2 penny, I will send you soft copy. I will send you MCQs. You read and do them. And if you find time, have a quick look on chapter 2. Tomorrow, I will try to finish chapter 2 within 1 or 2 days. Quickly, okay? Thank you. Any questions you want to ask me? Or a camera? Summarize this class today. Can you scan and mail me? Assignment. Summarize the class in 4 paragraphs. What is paragraph? 4. Can you scan and mail me? Thank you. You can stop the camera.